Have you ever seen this online? You're scrolling through the comments, and bam, there it is. The claim that the god of Islam, Allah, was actually just an old pagan moon god from Arabia. It's a pretty wild claim, right? So for this explainer, we're going to dig in and actually look at the evidence.
So what's the deal? Was Allah just some rebranded local deity that people in Mecca were already worshipping? This idea is everywhere on the internet, and it usually hangs on just a few key pieces of proof. So let's break them down, one by one.
Okay, so the first piece of evidence, the big one you always hear about, is the crescent symbol. I mean, you see it everywhere, on top of mosques, on the flags of many Muslim-majority countries. The logic seems simple, right? Crescent moon symbol equals moon god. Case closed. But, well, if you take even a quick look at the history, that story starts to fall apart fast. Yeah, so look at this timeline. You can see the problem right away. Islam gets started in the 7th century, but for the next, 800 years, no crescent. It's just not there. It only gets adopted way later, in the 15th century, by the Ottoman Empire. And they probably just picked it up as a political symbol from Constantinople, the city they had just conquered. So the big takeaway here, this symbol is a much more modern political thing, not some ancient religious relic. All right, so the whole crescent theory is a bust. But what about the next claim? This is the idea that, okay, maybe Allah was the big boss of the 360 idols they had in the Kaaba in Mecca, the chief god, but still just one pagan idol among many. Let's see if there's any actual evidence for that. So this is where it gets really interesting. It's not about what archaeologists have found, it's about what they haven't found. We have tons of proof for other gods from that time. We've got inscriptions, we've got statues of a god named Hubal, for instance, but for Allah as a specific moon god idol? Nothing. Zip. Zero. It's like a total black hole in the archaeological record, which is pretty suspicious if he was supposed to be this major idol. And this chart really shows you why. Even before Islam, the Arabs in the region made a really clear distinction. On one side, you had Hubal, a physical statue made of red agate with his own priests and special rituals. But Allah was understood totally differently. He was seen as the supreme, invisible creator god, a concept way too big and powerful to ever be captured in a statue. They just weren't talked about in the same way at all. Now here is where the story takes a huge turn. And honestly, this is the part that really reframes the whole conversation. Because the strongest piece of evidence against the moon god theory, well, it doesn't come from Islam at all. It actually comes from Christianity, from before Islam even existed. Check this out. This is a real inscription found in a place called Zabad in Syria. It's dated to the year 512. Now, just to be super clear, that's more than a century before the Prophet Muhammad was even born. It's a Christian dedication, and it's written in 3 languages. And in the Arabic part, guess what word they use for the one Christian God? You got it, Allah. This is solid proof that Arabic-speaking Christians were already using the word Allah to refer to the God of the Bible. Okay, so if Allah wasn't some pagan idol, then where in the world did the word come from? Well, the answer isn't in archaeology, it's in linguistics, in a shared family tree of really ancient languages. This chart basically lays it all out. See, Allah isn't a personal name, like Zeus or Hubal. It's actually the Arabic word in a long, long line of words for God. It comes from the exact same ancient Semitic root as the Hebrew word ilāh, which you find all over the Jewish Bible, and the Aramaic word ilāh, which is a language Jesus spoke. So Allah literally just means the God in Arabic. So here's the bottom line. The message of early Islam wasn't about introducing some brand new God nobody had ever heard of. Not at all. It was about taking this existing idea of a supreme creator God, who is already called Allah, and making a radical argument that this God was the only one. Period. The revolution wasn't in the name, it was in demanding that all those other idols and intermediaries be thrown out. So when you really look at the history, the linguistics, and the archaeology, the whole moon god theory just kind of collapses. Which leaves us with a much bigger, more interesting question, doesn't it? Why do simple, dramatic myths like this one seem to spread like wildfire online, while the actual, more complicated truth has to struggle to catch up? Let us know what you think.